Okay, welcome to Sold Out Customs, and I'm going to do a little dirt bike maintenance. And I have a pre-modern bike that I race in FTR. Has to be 20 years old and older. And I was moving it on the stand the other day, or on the shop, and I noticed that the rear shock had some play in it. So I investigated it a little bit, and sure enough, one of the bushings is bad or is failing or whatever. So this is the bike. It's my 2002 CR250. My son and I rebuilt this bike from the ground up, basically, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Every new part, all new bearings, all new motor parts. We powder coated the frame, polished the forks, rebuilt the wheels, new spokes and all that. And it's been a pretty good bike. I put a top end in it not too long ago, just like as a maintenance thing. It didn't need it. I just, I felt like the need to do it. But the bike came out really cool. It's a really fun bike to ride. It comes back to my childhood. I remember when these bikes were brand new. Was out, beating around on them back then. It does have some aftermarket suspension done. It's been tuned, I guess you could say, from Kyle at Moto 4 Play. I just made it a little more woods centric versus like motocross style suspension. It's got a FMF gnarly pipe on it, and other than that, it's pretty stock motor wise. I did a redneck compression increase. I just took the head and taped a piece of like 400 grit sandpaper to a stone that I have, and just rubbed it back and forth like 900 times, and smoothed the head out a little bit. And it definitely, you feel it. It's a little harder to kick, which is fine. I mean, it's not much, probably 8.75 to 1 instead of 8.6 to 1 or whatever it is stock. Other than that, it does have a little bit larger fuel tank on it. It has a Clark Racing tank on it, and that's it. I mean, it's my woods bike. I enjoy it, but anyway, the linkage needs to come apart and find out what's going on with the shock area. It's not the shock. It's the linkage that connects the shock to the swing arm to the frame and all that. So we're gonna tear it apart and see what we find. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Okay, not really sure why it started there, but hey, hopefully it's working. The shock bushing at the top of the frame, yes, it has a little bit of lateral side to side, but it doesn't have a ton of play up and down, so I don't think that's it. I mean, it doesn't have, basically nothing. You can see it wiggling right there, wiggle, wiggle. So let's go over here and look at the linkage. So this is where the shock bolts to the link. And this is where I was feeling most of the play from the shock moving on this link here. So it doesn't feel bad when you shake it like this, but when I put a bolt in it, you could feel a little bit more play in it. So maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm not doing it well enough with my hand. So what we're gonna do is this one felt very crunchy when it was on the bike, like it didn't move very smoothly. This actually bolts to the frame. This bolts to the frame. This bolts in here like this, right? Shock, swing arm. Shock, swing arm, and the link bar goes to the frame. So what it does is it allows you to have more, I guess, movement with less shock travel. That's why it's a link style instead of direct, like a PDS style like the old KTMs had, where the shock just bolted right to the swing arm. I've had a few of those bikes. They're actually not bad either. It's just a different style. These bolts have a little bit of wetness to them, and it's like, maybe, I don't know, like oil, but it shouldn't be oil, it should be grease in there. So either I've, contaminating with pressure washing the bike or whatever. It's a possibility. Anyway, I'm gonna get these in the pool. When I say the pool, I mean the parts washer, clean them up a little bit. That way I can start seeing what's going on bearing wise. All right, so this bearing is where the shock goes. You can see this is fresh grease, this is caked on, disgusting grease. So this bearing has definitely failed. However, up here on the top, where it connects to the swing arm, the bearing brace, the race is broken right here, and the needle bearings are already falling out of it on both sides. So that for sure is probably my play, and this isn't helping the situation. It's all gross inside. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and clean them up best I can. I'm not going to try to get all these needle bearings in my parts washer because I have enough stuff in the parts washer that I don't know about, and I don't want to add to it specifically if I know it's going in there. So let me knock these out and try to clean them up a little bit. Okay, so these are the parts cleaned up, or the links cleaned up here. Let's just see. You can see on this side here, see that bearing failure? That's not from me in the parts washer. That's actually, the needle bearings exploded out of it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Anyway, that's no bueno right there. And then you can tell by the color, these were still lubricated and they were sealed, but the shock one is all discolored and all caked in there. So obviously water or dirt or both, mud, had gotten into this bearing and destroyed it. The needle bearings were all intact, but man, they weren't moving very well at all. And you could see right here, it was starting to try to blow out right there. So I'm gonna see what I can do to get these races out. I knocked all the needles out, and I did the same thing on this link here. Even though they were, they were in good condition appearing, I have the kit, so might as well try to get them out. Anyway, I see what I can do to beat these out of there or whatever. I'm not sure. I can't remember how I did it last time, but I'll poke around and see what I can come up with. Maybe I'll stick the new ones, the new bearings in the freezer now, and that way when I'm screwing around with all these, they'll be slightly smaller. At least that's what I think. Sometimes that'll help. It's surprising, just a little bit, cool them off just a little bit, and they'll shrink. I mean, a thou or half a thou, a quarter of a thou, whatever it is. And sometimes it's just enough to help it go together a lot easier. So let me go do that, and let's see what I can come up with tool-wise to beat these races out. Okay, got my butt kicked a little bit on this guy. Anyway, I used the socket to press the bearings right out of this because you can see it's a smooth bore. So the bearing may be flush with the face, but it goes all the way through. So I was able to just push the races, run race into the next race and pop them both out here. And this was just a single bearing, came right out. Oh geez, scratch. Nobody saw it. Anyway, this, on the other hand, not the case. There's a register in there, so it doesn't go all the way through. So I had to beat them out of there with a vengeance, I guess. So this is what the races look like when I got them out. I had to chisel down the side of it and break it off, and holy crap, what a pain in the butt. I used this little tool. I sharpened the end of it as a punch and just kind of chiseled down the side, trying not to damage the aluminum bearing material location, I guess. I got that a little bit down in there, but I think that's past the bearing anyway. So there's a couple of little scuffs on it. I mean, they're very small. They look probably bigger on camera than they actually are. So what I'm gonna do is I have these like half moon shaped files. They're super fine. Use them to, for delicate work, I guess. I'm gonna see if I can just smooth the high spots down where these go, where those bearings go in. That way when they press in, they don't have any snags or whatever. I don't want the bearings to sit crooked. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll see how I can press the bearings in, maybe using the socket or maybe one slightly bigger, using the old arbor press, the little guy, the little fella. So yeah, we're gonna keep going with that and see what happens. Dropped it under the welding table, yeah, because there's nothing dirty under there, right? Perfect. I think it needs to go just a schmooch more. Let's see. I don't want to put too much pressure on the old girl. Maybe just a little bit more. Let's see. Yep, there it is. There it is. I felt the bottom. Perf. All right, let's bring the other bearing out of the wrapper. It's been in the freezer. Putting it so these bearings, like most, there's a side that has like the number punched on. It's a little flatter, so This one's more of a beveled side, so I try to put the bevel down. Doesn't always work that way, but you know what I mean. I'm trying. I'm trying, kids. I'm trying. Let's see if I can get this lined up a little better. It's off just a touch. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. If you line them up, they go in a lot easier, I guess. Let's see if I get this lined up a little better. There it is, bam. Bottoming it out. The ladies like that, fellas. Bearings back in it. Look at that. Bam. I just got to do that 2, 4, 5 more times. Okay, so I got the bearings pushed in. They all look pretty good, nice and flat. This one you just push to the center. So I don't know if you saw on the time lapse, I was doing it, you know, little by little, trying to get the, you know, centered in the link. So yeah, I like it. I'm excited about it. So now what we do is we're going to put the inner race in with the new gaskets, the new lip seals. So usually what I'll do is I'll put one lip seal in, you know, put all the lip seals on one side, flip it over, drop all the center races in, and then put the other lip seals on. I'm probably going to add a little bit more grease to these. These are packed, but I think just a little more axle grease probably wouldn't hurt. Plus, you know, I'm here now. It's easier to do it now. So let me go grab the grease and get cracking. This one came out pretty good too, surprisingly, even though it wasn't that didn't look that great initially, but anyway, I'm liking it. Dirt bike maintenance, man. You know, when you're out there beating the snot out of it in the woods, you don't take care of it. It sneaks up on you. Old technology, it is what it is. Okay, so we have 15, 40-15, 40-15, 2 40-29s. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got 4 races. So what we're gonna do, these 40-15s are the link part, I believe, yeah. So they're gonna go here. Sometimes you can just push these in by hand. These are double lip seals, but they're very, very small, very weak. So it doesn't take much to push them in. So right in like that. So we'll go ahead, since they're all the same, it doesn't matter which one goes where. Something like that. All right, these 40-29s. All right, so there it is, all back together. I didn't want to videotape you guys staring at my butt as I stand right in front of the camera and kick it, knock it over, and then cuss and all that stuff. So anyway, so now you can pull up on the swing arm, pulling up on it, no play. Whew, that's good stuff. At least we found bad bearings, so it wasn't all for nothing. And oh, I got my Wolfpack shirt on. I didn't notice that. You airmen know what's up about that, about the Wolfpack. So anyway, my son that was his BMT class he was in. Anyway, I appreciate you guys, you know, watching me, helping me do this, I guess, you know. I just want to do little things around the shop here that I know a lot of people do in the garages themselves, and sometimes they get stuck on whatever. And, you know, it's not all hot rods here. Sometimes it's dirt bike stuff too. I do have a diesel truck out in the parking lot that's desperate need of attention. I don't know what you guys want to see about that. It's just my daily driver. It just got, you know, just broken in allegedly, 218,000 miles on it. And but yeah, anyway, I just appreciate the views, and you know, comment if you don't like this stuff, and I can I can go back to just doing hot rod stuff and you know, share with you guys what I do about that. And I would like to show you what I do for a day job, but I don't think they're down for that. So it's not that it's very glamorous or anything like that, but some of it's kind of cool. I work for a municipality, well, a government job. I'm a government employee, so sometimes they get a little funny with stuff like that. So anyway, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll get back to you guys soon.